here, the Frugal Crafter, with a really fun traditional Victorian craft for you today. We're going to make a Victorian favor cone using supplies from our sponsor, Paper Mart. You can find them online at www.papermart.com. These cones are beautiful for Valentine's Day favors or Easter or even wedding favors because you can hang them on the back of the chairs at your reception, fill them with candy and goodies, and they're so much fun to make, and they're easy too. And I'm going to show you how to make them today. Okay, here are some of my finished examples. Aren't these pretty? I think they'd be great for Valentine's Day or weddings or Mother's Day, Easter. There's so many things you can use this for. You could hang them on the corner of a chair and fill them with treats, or even pass them out in a classroom with kids and put some candy in there. I think it'd be so much fun, and they're so easy to make. Well, what we're going to use here is some raffia ribbon. We're going to use some regular printed satin ribbon, some tulle, and some fabric flowers. And the first thing we're going to need is a piece of paper, and you can use like a 6x6 scrapbook paper from the mini stacks, or you can actually get 4 of these out of a 12x12 piece of pattern paper. This one's by Die Cuts with a View. And what I did is I just took a compass here and I set it at 6 inches, and you can just trace a plate if you don't have a compass. And I'm just going to put this right in the corner, and I'm going to draw an arc. Whoops. Like I said, just trace a paper plate if you don't have, or a regular plate if you don't have a compass. And then digging out a moldy oldie, we're going to use our decorative edge scissors, or you can use straight edge scissors, or you can just kind of freehand cut a scallop. I'm just cutting a scallop with these old scrapbooking scissors, but they're really cute even if you keep them straight. Just cut right just under that line so you don't have to erase a pencil mark later. Alright, and I just kind of lined it up as I went, so I got a really nice scallop there. And then to make this so it's going to bend, what I try to do is just kind of bend it a little bit, and then I'm going to put my hand down like that and just kind of, like your curling ribbon, kind of just pull it against your hand or a ruler, something to get that paper to bend the way you want. Because this is a fairly heavyweight pattern paper, you can use construction paper or cardstock, even old book pages, anything like that. We're going to be adding a doily onto that, so it will have another layer for stability. So I'm just going to kind of roll it up a little bit a couple times. I just want to get that paper ready to bend, because I'm going to use hot glue to adhere it, and I want to make sure that that it's going to behave on me. And when I glue it down, I'm just going to kind of overlap 1 or 2 bumps of the scallops so I get so it looks kind of seamless in the back. Okay? It's just a little trick to, make it a little bit neater. And then I'm going to put glue along one of the edges. The edge will be on the inside. Use a low temperature glue gun if you're going to do this, that way you don't burn your hands off. I don't want anyone burning their hands off. And then just stick it down, holding it so that you're kind of lining up those scallop bumps. See that? Do you say scallop or scallop? Tomato, tomato. I've heard it both ways. Scallop. Scallop. I think I'm more likely to say scallop, which is also a type of seafood that's quite popular in Maine. Scallops. I don't eat those, so I'm a vegetarian. Too much information, huh? Alright, so then I'm going to put my doily right side down, and I'm going to put some glue in the middle. Squirty, squirty, squirty. I'm almost out of glue. I need to go get another glue stick. I'm going to center that up, and then just roll it around like I'm, wrapping a fajita, I guess. I don't know. A burrito? I don't know, whatever. As you can tell, I don't cook very much. There we go, just enough glue to finish that. And I'm going to roll it right around. Just be careful if you're going to use hot glue for this step, because there's all these little holes in the doily, and the glue could squirt through and burn you. So you might want to use like a thick and tacky glue, or any Elmer's or white glue, just to secure that. And you'll have to hold it for a minute if you do that. That's why I'm using the hot glue, so I can just kind of get on with the show. Alright, so the next step to do, if you want to have a little woven element along the top, you're going to need a hole punch, and a regular standard hole punch will work. So you just want to go and punch on every bump here. And there we go, we're at the last bump. And then you can cut off a piece. You don't need too long of a piece. I would say maybe 1.5 feet. This is very affordable, so don't be afraid to use some. I think it's like $1, less than $2 a roll, I'm pretty sure. And then just weave it back and forth, or you could you could kind of do a back stitch, but I'm just going to weave it back and forth to save time for the video here. I found that if you fold your paper over, you can make yourself almost like a little needle. It makes it a little easier to thread. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to do a really fun bow here, because if we leave the thread like this, it's pretty. It's just a very, very thin, almost string or cord looking element. But you can also unwrap the ribbon and unwrap the paper and make it more of a ribbon. So what I'm going to do is just kind of knot that, and let me see if I can let me trim that off. Now I'm going to take a length of this and just kind of unwrap it here. And we've done this before with the paper cord. This is a little more fragile, so you want to be very careful as you unwrap it, because it will want to tear on you if you're not careful. And I'll show you how to make a really pretty puffy bow to go in here. But your first step would just be to unravel a length of this ribbon. Always go a little bit longer because this is very inexpensive. I've got this like long scrap here. It's over a foot long, so I'm just going to use this. So go ahead and unravel it all the way. I did decide to cut off a larger piece and unravel it because I wanted to show you how to do a multi-loop bow, just because it's kind of fun, and I'm going to show you a technique that I think you'll find to be really, really useful and easy. And this stuff is so inexpensive, and it would be really cute on cards and scrapbook layouts as well as your little Valentines here. And you can grab a roll in every color because it's so affordable from Paper Mart. Alright, so what I did was I took two clips and put them on a jar, wrapped my unraveled paper around, and just tied the ends around and made a cute little bow. And that was the scrap that I'd left over from the cord I just cut that I was weaving. But then I thought, well, I want to show you how to do a multi-layered one. So what I'm going to do is, I'll show you, you've got a bird's eye view here. I am going to wrap it in a figure 8 around my clothespins here. If you have a bow maker, you can go ahead and use that, but I don't. So clothespins on a jar it is. And you can go around as many times as you like, and by keeping it in the figure 8 as opposed to just wrapping it in a loop, it keeps your bow pieces separate, and it'll kind of keep the little puffs on the bow separate. It'll be a little bit easier to fluff later. Since this is a fairly fragile ribbon, you want to make sure that it's going to, that you can kind of do this gently. And I'm going to do this one around one more time and go underneath so I can tie everything off together in the back. Alright, so this is what it looks like from the front. Okay, and we'll be able to fluff that up a little bit. And I'm just going to tie the tails together in the back. Be gentle. You don't want to rip the paper. And it helps to have extra. And like I said, this is so affordable that it's okay to have a little extra. And now when I slide it off, I've got this multi-looped bow that I can just kind of fluff. 1, 2, I got 3 loops on each side. Actually, I think I might have 4 loops on this side, but that's alright. I could actually even just sneak another one back here if I wanted to, if that was bothering me and I felt like I needed to have an extra loop. I could, but it's not really bothering me. So I'm just going to leave it as is and just snip my ends. And it also gives it a very, very rustic look that I like. It's very pretty on like primitive crafts. And these kind of Victorian tussies look really cute that way. So I'm going to put that right over where my ends meet there. A little bit of hot glue. There we go. You can kind of fuss with it while it's gluing a little bit. Glue strings. Remember, if you have glue strings, just use a hot glue gun. Just use a heat tool to melt them away. Now I want a piece of tulle because I love the texture that gives, and I want probably about 2 feet of it. And then I'm going to gather it together and just snip to cut it. Probably should use my fabric scissors for that. That's alright. I'm going to fold it in half again, and then I'm just going to tie it around my cone. And what I want to do is make a loose knot, because what I want to do, this cone is tapered, so anything I try to tie on is just going to slide down. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back. Just a little dab will do ya here. A little glue on the back. And then I'm going to slide my tool back up, and I want to catch the back of it in the glue. And that's going to keep my knot from coming out on the front. Let me just take a little piece of... Just kind of hold it, let it dry for a second. I was going to press the silicone to it, but I don't want to use this little scrap of silicone from last time. I have grime on it, so I don't want to get grime on that. And then just pull that tight and make a double knot. Alright, now you can see how much more intense the color gets when you have it doubled over like that. Then I'm going to use my scissors to cut that loop so I have kind of fringe coming down on both sides, and I'll trim this one off to match. And then I'm going to choose a fabric flower from Paper Mart to embellish this with. And I've got these cute little flowers here that I used on one that are very country looking because they're made from gingham, and they've got like a little button in the middle of that, so I could use that one right there. That'd be really pretty if I use that. But what I think I really want to use are these ribbon flowers, because I think I just like this different shimmery texture here, and they're so pretty. They have such a lovely detail. And what I'm going to do is just slide that down behind my knot, and then to secure it I can just wrap it around, or I could glue it down if I wanted to. But the nice thing about just wrapping the wire is that like if I gave this to somebody and they wanted to reuse the ribbon, like maybe put it on a barrette or something, they could totally do that because it's not permanently adhered to this, which is nice because, you know, the tussie is just out of paper. It'll get worn eventually. It'll kind of get shop worn or whatever you want to call it. If it's hanging on, you know, somebody's chair at school or whatever, it's going to get beat up after a while, so that way they could save that and actually put it on a barrette and use it for something else. Now we need something to hang this with, and I'm just going to use some of this pretty patterned ribbon. It's a silk or satin ribbon rather from Paper Mart, and I'm just going to use about an 8-inch piece. And I want to glue it on so that I can really see the pattern of the ribbon. So I want to kind of glue it in there like that. And by gluing it like that, it's going to hang a little better than punching a hole and hanging it, because then it's might want to tip out a little bit. So all you do is put a little glue inside the cone. Put one end in the glue, leaving some glue exposed, and then put the other side in. And then just let that dry. And there you have it. A very cute Victorian Valentine tussie. I want to thank you so much for watching. I'll show you this version here when I use some vintage paper and some red. It's also very, very cool and pretty. You can find all of these supplies at Paper Mart. Find them online at www.papermart.com, where we make you look even better. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, happy crafting.